안녕하세요, 하민입니다. Hey guys, it's Hamin, and this is going to be lesson 2. So if you haven't watched lesson 1, I want you guys to watch it right now. And lesson 2 is going to be about greetings. So let's go. Okay, let's start our lesson. So our first lesson is going to be greetings. So here's the words that we're going to be using in this lesson. So I'll go through it one by one. 1학년, 2학년, 3학년, 4학년, 과, 대학생, 사람, 인사, 학년, 학생, 미국, 한국, 1, 2, 3, 4, 안녕하다, 안녕하세요, 이다, 이에요, 예요, 도, 는, 저, 나. So try to memorize these words, or just try to understand. Okay, so the school year means 학년. So if you combine the numbers and 학년 together, then it's showing what year you're in. So for example, if you say 1학년, then it's going to be freshman, first year. If you say 2학년, it means sophomore, second year. If you say 3학년, it means junior, third year. If you say 4학년, it means senior, the fourth year. And if you combine the country and 사람 together, then it shows your nationality. So if you say 한국, Korea, 사람, person together, 한국 사람, Korean. So if you add 미국 and 사람 together, it means American, 미국 사람. Okay, so this is the conversation that we're going to be covering. So try to listen. 안녕하세요. 저는 하민이에요. 4학년이에요. Hello, I am Hamin. I'm in fourth year. 안녕하세요. 저는 김유미예요. 저는 1학년이에요. Hello, I'm 김유미. I'm in first year. 마이클 정이에요. 저도 1학년이에요. I'm Michael Jung. I'm also in first year. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down. 안녕하세요. You probably know, but 안녕하세요 means hello. It is a greeting that asks about the other person's well-being or good health. So if someone says 안녕하세요, then you would respond with 안녕하세요 as well. And usually when Koreans say 안녕하세요, they bow. And the reason why they bow is to show the respect to another person. So if you see someone who's older than you, you usually bow saying 안녕하세요. So normally when you bow, you would bow about like 15 degree, but if you want to show more respect to another person, then you would bow about 45 degree. And here's actually a funny story. I was born in Korea and I've lived there for like 12 years. And I've been living in Canada for about more than 10 years now. But when I first moved to Canada from Korea, when I see my teachers, I would always be like, hello, like that. Because like bowing was my habit. Like bowing to teacher is like the most normal thing in Korea. None of my friends bow to my teacher, and whenever I bow to my teacher, they would tell me that it's just the Korean culture thing, that I don't have to do it here. But as a habit, I would always like just bow. Now I can just say hello, but yeah, that's just a quick fun story. Okay, let's get back to the lesson. Okay, so goodbye in Korean is 잘 가. But that's informal way. If you want to say it in a formal way, then you can say 안녕히 가세요. But you would use this word in a case of when someone is leaving. So for example, your grandma is leaving to somewhere else, like back to her house or something, then you would say 안녕히 가세요. And actually the word 가다 means to go. So that's why they say 안녕히 가세요. And if you're the one who's leaving and they're staying, if your grandma is staying and you're the one who's leaving, then you would say 안녕히 계세요. 계시다 means to be there. So 안녕히 계세요. So they sound similar, 안녕히 가세요 and 안녕히 계세요. The difference would be 가 and 게. 안녕히 가세요, 안녕히 계세요. Okay, now let's move on to thank you. Thank you in Korean is 감사합니다. 감사합니다. That means thank you. And if you want to say sorry, it would be 죄송합니다. 죄송합니다. That's sorry. So 감사합니다 and 죄송합니다 is a respectful way to say thank you and sorry. And if you want to thank someone for their hard work, like to your teachers, then you say 수고하셨습니다. 수고하셨습니다. It means thank you for your hard work. And now when do you use informal speech or formal speech? 존댓말. Okay, so you would use 존댓말, the formal speech, when they're older than you, or if they're in a higher position than you, or if you meet them for the first time. If you meet someone for the first time, you gotta keep that respect to each other. Then when do you use informal speech? You would use it if they allow you to speak informal speech. So normally higher persons would say, 말 편하게 하셔도 돼요. Like you can speak comfortably, then you can use informal speech. Or between friends, you can use informal speech. Okay, so let's practice what we've learned so far. So hello in Korean is 안녕하세요. So I want you to repeat after me. 안녕하세요. Good. 안녕히 가세요. Good. 안녕히 계세요. Good job. Okay, now, thank you. 고마워 is informal way to say thank you to your friends. And if you want to make it more formal, it's 고마워요. And as we know, formal way to say thank you is 감사합니다. So I want you to repeat after me as well. 고마워. Good. 고마워요. Good. 감사합니다. Good job. Okay, now, sorry. Informal way to say sorry is 미안해. Again, to your friends, if you want to make it more formal, it's going to be 미안해요. And there is 죄송합니다. Okay, let's practice with me. 미안해. 미안해요. 죄송합니다. Good job. Okay, now let's move on to how to write in Korean. So Korean is a verb or adjective final language. The verb or adjective usually comes at the end of the sentences or clauses, while all the elements including their subject and the object appears before the verb or adjective. So for example, in English it goes like subject, verb, object. So Mark reads a book. Mark is the subject, read is verb, book is object. But in Korean it goes different. It goes as subject, object, verb. So for example, 마크가 책을 읽어요. Mark, subject, 마크가 책을, book, object, 읽어요, verb. So informal way to say I is 나, 나는, 나도. And formal way to say I is 저, 저는, 저도. Again, informal 나, 나는, 나도. Formal 저, 저는, 저도. And there are several second person pronouns such as 너. When you want to say you would say 너. But never use 너 to someone who's older than you, because that's really rude. If you want to say you to someone who's older than you would always put their title, such as like 김 선생님, like teacher Kim. Okay, another important lesson. 저는 김유미예요. It means I am Yumi Kim. However, Kim is last name. Kim is the family name, and Yumi is the given name. So what's the difference? So Korea is a macro to micro language. So it means that important thing comes first. So as you can see, Kim, the last name came first, and then your first name came after. Kim, Yumi. So for example, my last name is Lee, and then my Korean name is Hamin. So normally in English it's Hamin Lee, but in Korean it's going to be Yi Hamin. You got that? Okay, I'll give you a few more examples. So for example of address, you would put like a province and country later, right? But in Korean, actually you put country and province first. For example, 대한민국, 경기도, 과천시, 중앙동, 111. So it goes country, province, city, neighborhood, number. Same as date. In English, you would put the year at the end, but in Korean, you would put the year at the front. So it goes year, month, day. 2016년 12월 25일. You got that? Okay, and now let's move on to the numbers. Okay, so right now we're using Sino Korean. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 0 can be either 0 or 0. And if you want to know how to count in Korean, there's actually two ways to count in Korean, native Korean and Sino Korean. So if you want to master how to speak Korean, I have a YouTube video about it. If you watch this, you'll be able to understand when to use Sino-Korean or native Korean and how to count in Korean from 0 to up to wherever. So make sure to watch this video because this is really important. You have to know how to count in Korean. It's going to make everything so easy for you. So make sure to watch this video, and I'm gonna assume that you know how to count in Korean now. So 전화번호가 뭐예요? What's your phone number? And you would respond with 808-123-4507이에요. After the second set, you would normally add 에. You don't have to, but normally you add it. And again, 0 can be 0 or 0. So that's how you would say your phone number. With Sino-Korean, you can just read number by number when you're saying the phone number. And I want you guys to know, this is a quick review. There's consonant and vowels in Korean, right? I'm gonna assume that you guys know the consonant and vowels in Korean if you watch my first lesson. So we're gonna move on to, when do you use 은 or 는? I got this question so many times, so I'm going to explain it to you guys. So the topic particle 은, 는 indicates that the attached noun is the topic described by the following statement. Okay, so when do you use 은 or 는? If the word ends with the consonant, then you would use 은. But if the word ends with the vowels, then you would use 는, 은, 는. You got that? So we'll look at this example. Maria, Maria. What is it? Is it consonant or vowels? Ah, it's vowels, right? So in this case, we would put 는, Maria, 는. And Eric, it ends with the consonant, 기억. So we are going to put Eric, 은. 크리스, 크리스 ends with the vowels, so we're going to put 크리스는. 조나단, 조나단 ends with 니은 consonant, so we're going to put 은, 조나단, 은. And 저 ends with vowels, so we're going to put 저는. So that's the differences between 은 and 는. You got that? Okay, so this works the same thing, 이에요 and 예요. So if it ends with the consonant, then you put 이에요. But if the word ends with the vowels, then you put 예요. So 이에요, 예요. Okay? So 마이클 정. It ends with the consonant, so 마이클 정이에요. 스티븐 월슨. It ends with the consonant, so 스티븐 월슨이에요. 김유미 이. It ends with the vowel, so it's going to be 김유미예요. 스테파니. It ends with the vowel, so it's going to be 스테파니. 예요. And Nicole, 리을, it ends with the consonant, so it's going to be Nicole이에요. Okay? And let's try to have some more practice. So we are going to make a sentence. So right now we have Brandon, Monica, Kenneth, Ryan. And we have 학년, but as you can see, 학년 is same for everyone. So it's going to be 이에요, because 학년, 년, it ends with the consonant. But name is different for everyone, so we are going to practice our 은 and 는. So 브랜든, it ends with the consonant, so it's going to be 브랜든은 2학년이에요. And Monica, Monica, it ends with the vowels, so it's going to be 모니카는 1학년이에요. Okay, Kenneth, Kenneth, it ends with the vowels, so it's going to be Kenneth는 3학년이에요. Kenneth is in third year. And then lion, lion, it ends with the consonant, so it's going to be lion은 4학년이에요. You got that? Okay, so now, this is another important thing that you have to remember. So in English, it's gonna be like, I'm Lisa, I'm a college student, I'm a senior, right? So if you translate it to Korean, it's going to be 저는 리사예요. 저는 대학생이에요. 저는 4학년이에요. 저는 is I am, so you say I am, I am, I am. However, Korean is often called the situation-oriented language, so it means when you know that what you're talking about, then you don't have to say it all the time. So we're going to keep it simple as 저는 리사예요. Then you know that you're talking about Lisa. So you will say 대학생이에요, 4학년이에요. Then you will know this belongs to Lisa. Okay, now we're going to practice 은는 and 도. What is 도? 도 is like two. So 스티브는 3학년이에요. Steve is in third year. 김유미는 1학년이에요. 김유미 is in first year. So we learned this so far, but here's a twist. 마이클 도 1학년이에요. So 1학년, as you know, is first year. Kim Yumi is first year, and Michael is also in first year. So that's when we use 도, because Michael is also in first year. Michael too, in first year. So the particles for 은, 는, and 도 are used to compare two or more items. Okay, we are going to move on to another example. We have 지민 1학년 한국 사람, 슈가 2학년 한국 사람, 데이비드 1학년 영국 사람, 테일러 3학년 미국 사람. Okay? So 지민은, it ends with the consonant, so that's why you will put 은 1학년이에요. 데이비드도 1학년이에요, because David is also in first year, so that's why you will put 도. And then 테일러는 3학년이에요. Okay? And then now let's look at the nationality. 지민은, it ends with the consonant, 한국 사람이에요. And then 슈가도, 슈가 is two, Korean, so 슈가도 한국 사람이에요. 테일러는 it's 는 because it ends with vowel, as you know, 미국 사람이에요. You guys all got that? Okay, so now I'm going to give you a question. 이름이 뭐예요? What is your name? 이름이 뭐예요? 어느 나라 사람이에요? What is your nationality? 어느 나라 사람이에요? 몇 학년이에요? What year are you in? 몇 학년이에요? 몇 살이에요? Just in case that you guys are not in school, it means how old are you? Okay, so now I want you guys to introduce yourself. 안녕하세요. Hello. 저는, and then you put your name. 이에요. Or 예요, depending on how your name looks like. So if it ends with the consonant, it's 이에요. If it ends with the vowels, it's 예요. Okay? And you put your country. 사람이에요. 반갑습니다. Nice to meet you. So, for example, with my case, 안녕하세요. 저는 하민, 민, it ends with 니은, it ends with the consonant. So 하민이에요. And I'm from Korea, so it's going to be 한국 사람이에요. I'm from Korea. 반갑습니다. So all that together, 안녕하세요. 저는 하민이에요. 한국 사람이에요. 반갑습니다. You got that? So I want you guys to write this down in the comments, in the YouTube comments. Introduce yourself in Korean. 안녕하세요. 저는 put your name, 이에요 or 예요, country 사람이에요. 반갑습니다. I want you to write this if you can. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson for today. I'll put another video, lesson 3, next time. But before that, I want you guys to understand how to read and write in Hangul. Make sure you guys understand that. And if you have any question, leave a comment and I'll answer that in a Q&A video. I'm going to combine all the questions together and make a Q&A video. So if you have any questions, just write it down. And I'll see you guys next time. Good job.